Would be able to expresses a hypothetical ability or possibility in the future or present. It suggests a potential capability or capacity to perform an action, achieve a goal, or fulfill a requirement under certain conditions. Examples: if we left early, we would be able to catch the train. She would be able to speak Spanish fluently if she practiced more. With proper training, he would be able to run a marathon. If they invested in new technology, they would be able to increase productivity. We would be able to enjoy the beach if the weather clears up. He would be able to solve the problem if he had more information. If she took driving lessons, she would be able to drive a car. They would be able to succeed if they worked together as a team. With enough funding, the company would be able to expand its operations. If he studied harder, he would be able to improve his grades. She would be able to bake a cake if she followed the recipe. They would be able to find the solution if they brainstormed ideas. With practice, he would be able to play the guitar skillfully. If she saved money, she would be able to buy a new car. We would be able to travel the world if we won the lottery. He would be able to fix the problem if he had the right tools. She would be able to climb the mountain if she trained regularly. They would be able to communicate effectively if they learned sign language. If we arrived early, we would be able to secure good seats. He would be able to cook dinner if he followed the recipe. She would be able to finish the project if she managed her time better. They would be able to enjoy the concert if they bought tickets in advance. If he attended the workshop, he would be able to learn new skills. She would be able to understand the instructions if they were clearer. With determination, they would be able to overcome any obstacle. Might be able to signifies a possibility or potential capability to accomplish something, usually in the future, with an emphasis on uncertainty or doubt. It suggests that there is a chance of success or achievement under certain conditions or circumstances. Usages: potentiality, suggestion, speculation, polite request. Examples: with enough practice, you might be able to speak French fluently. If the weather clears up, we might be able to go for a hike. She might be able to fix the problem if she examines it closely. If he studies hard, he might be able to pass the exam. With some adjustments, we might be able to finish the project on time. They might be able to find a solution if they work together. If she arrives early, she might be able to secure a good seat. He might be able to repair the car if he has the right tools. If we leave now, we might be able to catch the last bus. She might be able to understand the concept if it's explained clearly. With additional funding, they might be able to expand their business. He might be able to learn to swim if he takes lessons. If she practices regularly, she might be able to improve her singing. They might be able to find the answer if they do more research. If he asks nicely, he might be able to borrow the book. She might be able to bake a cake if she follows the recipe. With some guidance, they might be able to navigate through the maze. If we follow the map, we might be able to reach the destination. He might be able to fix the computer if he restarts it. She might be able to overcome her fear of heights with support. They might be able to negotiate a better deal if they're persistent. If he practices mindfulness, he might be able to reduce stress. She might be able to find her keys if she retraces her steps. With enough determination, they might be able to climb the mountain. If they work efficiently, they might be able to finish the project early. Could be able to suggests a potential or hypothetical capability to accomplish something in the future, emphasizing the possibility rather than certainty. It indicates that under certain conditions, or with effort, one may possess the ability to achieve a particular task or goal. Usages: potential capability, conditional statement, polite request or offer. Examples: with dedication, she could be able to master the piano. If he studies diligently, he could be able to ace the exam. With practice, they could be able to perfect their dance routine. If we plan carefully, we could be able to complete the project on time. She could be able to reach her fitness goals if she maintains a healthy diet. If he saves enough money, he could be able to buy a house. With determination, they could be able to overcome any obstacle. If she seeks help, she could be able to manage her anxiety better. He could be able to find a job if he updates his resume. With training, she could be able to run a marathon. If they collaborate effectively, they could be able to solve the problem. He could be able to repair the car if he follows the instructions. With support, she could be able to pursue her dream career. If they communicate openly, they could be able to strengthen their relationship. She could be able to learn a new language if she practices regularly. If he believes in himself, he could be able to achieve anything. With patience, they could be able to train their dog. If she takes classes, she could be able to improve her cooking skills. He could be able to travel the world if he saves enough money. With the right guidance, they could be able to navigate through the challenges. If she seeks professional advice, she could be able to manage her finances better. He could be able to fix the leaky roof if he hires a contractor. With proper planning, she could be able to organize a successful event. If they adapt to change, they could be able to thrive in any situation. He could be able to secure a promotion if he demonstrates his skills effectively. Shall be able to implies a future capacity or capability to accomplish something, indicating a strong likelihood or assurance of success. It denotes a sense of certainty or determination regarding one's ability to achieve a particular task or goal. Usages: future capability, formal declaration, legal or contractual context. Examples: with dedication, she shall be able to achieve her career goals. If we work together, we shall be able to overcome any challenge. She shall be able to attend the conference next month. With practice, he shall be able to improve his golf swing. We shall be able to finalize the budget by the end of the week. If they follow the instructions, they shall be able to assemble the furniture. She shall be able to make a decision once she gathers more information. With perseverance, he shall be able to reach the mountain peak. We shall be able to meet the deadline with efficient planning. If she seeks guidance, she shall be able to navigate through the process. He shall be able to contribute meaningfully to the project. With proper training, they shall be able to enhance their skills. She shall be able to understand the concept with further explanation. If he adheres to the schedule, he shall be able to finish the report on time. We shall be able to secure funding for the initiative through strategic partnerships. With determination, she shall be able to run a marathon. If they collaborate effectively, they shall be able to achieve success. He shall be able to present the proposal during the next meeting. We shall be able to resolve the issue through open communication. If she follows the diet plan, she shall be able to lose weight. He shall be able to provide the necessary resources for the project. With focus, they shall be able to complete the task efficiently. She shall be able to adapt to the changes in the industry. If he attends the workshop, he shall be able to acquire new skills. We shall be able to celebrate our achievements at the end of the project. Should be able to suggests an expectation or likelihood of possessing the capability or capacity to accomplish something in the future. It indicates a level of confidence or assurance that the individual has the necessary skills, resources, or conditions to achieve a particular task or goal. Usages: expectation, recommendation, assurance. Examples: with his talent, he should be able to excel in the competition. If you study hard, you should be able to pass the exam. She should be able to find a solution to the problem. With proper training, they should be able to improve their skills. He should be able to manage the project effectively. If we leave early, we should be able to avoid the traffic. She should be able to understand the concept with some explanation. With dedication, he should be able to achieve his goals. They should be able to adapt to the changes in the market. If she follows the recipe, she should be able to bake a delicious cake. He should be able to fix the issue with the computer. With teamwork, they should be able to complete the task on time. She should be able to handle the situation with diplomacy. If they collaborate, they should be able to reach a consensus. He should be able to overcome his fear with support. With perseverance, She should be able to overcome any obstacle. They should be able to find a compromise that satisfies everyone. If he follows the guidelines, he should be able to meet the requirements. She should be able to provide valuable insights during the meeting. With practice, they should be able to perform better in the next game. He should be able to secure funding for the project. If we allocate resources effectively, we should be able to achieve success. She should be able to navigate through the process with guidance. They should be able to adapt their strategy to the changing circumstances. With clear communication, we should be able to avoid misunderstandings. Must be able to conveys a strong necessity or requirement for possessing the capability or capacity to accomplish something. It emphasizes the obligation or imperative nature of having the necessary skills, resources, or conditions to achieve a particular task or goal. Usages: requirement, certainty. Examples: to join the team, applicants must be able to pass a fitness test. Employees must be able to adhere to the company's code of conduct. To graduate, students must be able to fulfill all degree requirements. Job candidates must be able to provide references upon request. Participants in the competition must be able to demonstrate sportsmanship. To qualify for the scholarship, applicants must be able to submit all required documents. Candidates for the position must be able to work well under pressure. Players must be able to follow the rules of the game. To use the equipment safely, operators must be able to undergo training. Employees must be able to handle confidential information responsibly. To enroll in the course, students must be able to meet the prerequisite. Staff members must be able to attend the mandatory training session. To access the building, visitors must be able to present a valid ID. Participants in the study must be able to give informed consent. To pass the exam, students must be able to demonstrate mastery of the material. Volunteers must be able to commit to a certain number of hours per week. To qualify for the grant, applicants must be able to demonstrate financial need. Users must be able to create an account to access the online platform. Attendees at the conference must be able to adhere to the dress code. To serve on the committee, members must be able to attend meetings regularly. Applicants for the position must be able to relocate if necessary. Customers must be able to provide proof of purchase for returns. To participate in the experiment, subjects must be able to follow instructions accurately. Candidates for the award must be able to submit a portfolio showcasing their work. Employees must be able to communicate effectively with colleagues and clients. Ought to be able to suggests a moral or advisable expectation that someone possesses the capability or capacity to accomplish something. It indicates a sense of obligation or recommendation based on what is considered proper or desirable. Usages: expectation. Advice or recommendation. Assessment of capability. Examples. As a skilled driver, you ought to be able to parallel park easily. Employees ought to be able to communicate effectively in a professional setting. Students ought to be able to comprehend the main ideas of the text. With practice, she ought to be able to master the violin. As a manager, he ought to be able to delegate tasks efficiently. Participants in the program ought to be able to demonstrate teamwork. Employees ought to be able to adapt to changes in the workplace. Candidates for the position ought to be able to work independently. Children ought to be able to tie their shoelaces by a certain age. With proper training, she ought to be able to improve her public speaking skills. Athletes ought to be able to perform at their best during competition. Students ought to be able to solve basic math problems independently. As a homeowner, you ought to be able to perform minor repairs around the house. Employees ought to be able to adhere to the company's policies and procedures. Participants in the study ought to be able to provide informed consent. Candidates for the scholarship ought to be able to demonstrate academic excellence. Tourists ought to be able to navigate the city with the help of a map. Employees ought to be able to manage their time effectively to meet deadlines. Patients ought to be able to follow the prescribed treatment plan. With dedication, she ought to be able to complete the project on time. As a leader, he ought to be able to inspire and motivate his team. Students ought to be able to apply critical thinking skills to analyze information. Employees ought to be able to handle customer inquiries with professionalism. Candidates for the job ought to be able to demonstrate relevant experience. With support, children ought to be able to develop social skills and empathy.